What's up? This is my reaction video to Pastor Dana Coverstone from Living Word Ministries video about his 3 dreams, prophetic dreams concerning America. He's a pastor in Burkesville, Kentucky, and he posted up about a week ago a video of him talking about 3 dreams that he had. Now, for the most part, he is an unknown pastor, but I think that this is his coming out as far as recognition, as far as fame would have it. He's got a YouTube channel, and this one video is dominating. It's got 500,000 views. It seems like it gains about 100,000 views a day. 13,000 subscribers as of the other day. I think 15,000 now. So his subscriber base is jumping up. If you look at all of his other videos, you'll notice that the views are maybe in the dozens or so, except for this video and another video that he has done. What I do not like, however, is that he put no comments. He stopped comments on his YouTube video so that you can't talk about it there. I guess you got to find other sources like my video and talk about what he was saying there. And I kind of disagree with that. I think that you have to open up conversation. I have a Bible channel. I know that the comment section is way wacko. It's full of both non-believers and people of other faith and Christians, and even within the Christians, there's different divisions of those, and they don't even agree with each other. Even within the same division, it's just a lot of arguments and a lot of stuff being thrown all around. So I can kind of understand, but just don't agree that comments would be blocked off on something that I feel that we need to talk about. That's why I'm making this video. He put it out on Facebook as well, and I'm putting the links down to those as well. He's got, as of today, like 1.5 million views for that. And I feel like there's, why are people attracted to this? I think that a lot of people are really just tired of being at home, and they feel that things are negative right now, and they're going to cling to something that is mostly negative. Okay. So let me summarize his 3 dreams. Okay. First dream.
I saw people marching. I saw protests. I saw people wearing masks. I saw lines going into hospitals. I saw people on ventilators. I saw people who were very, very sick, very, very ill. I saw cities on fire. I saw buildings being burned. I saw protesters with masks. I saw people who had their fists in the air, people who were yelling and screaming, angry just at the world.
The only problem that I have with that is that he said that he had this dream way after all those events have ended.
I can confirm the first part of what I'm about to tell you because I told some men at a prayer group back in December, 2nd or 3rd week of December. And I told several men in my church about this, and I can confirm who those men were, and they'll confirm that what I'm telling you is what I told them.
Still, how much more credibility would the other 2 dreams have if he had said, if he had made the video and posted it in the past? So to me, I look at it and I kind of go, yeah, that there's really no credibility in post-prophetic words. It's like, you just name any random thing that happens throughout the day and me say, oh yeah, I had a dream that was going to happen. Well, I didn't tell you before it happened, but I'm telling you after it happened. It's like it loses all of its power when you do that. I'm not saying that he's lying or that he's unsincere. He seems like a really cool guy. Actually, if I was in his area, his church is probably the kind of church that I would go to as well. But still, it's just, when you say you had a prophetic vision after the things have already taken place instead of before it, there's just, what's the purpose? What's the purpose in that? His second vision was,
I saw Washington, D.C. blazing. I saw fires everywhere. I saw people being rounded up. I saw Chinese and Russian soldiers on the ground. And Russian soldiers were telling the Chinese soldiers to go and pick up these people, round up these people, secure this quadrant, secure this area. I saw blue helmets of the UN. I saw military things taking place.
His third dream was basically saying that money will become useless, or at least the change in the 1s and the 5s.
I walk into the bank to get some change. And on the door it says there's no change available. Oh, and by the way, $1 and $5 bills will follow soon after that.
So one thing that I want to do is I want to talk about the unlikelihood of China and Russia simultaneously making a cooperative land invasion in America and what that would mean. I think that a lot of Americans view China as they view themselves. America is a warring nation. We are an invading warring nation where we will go out to different parts of the world and we'll have war out there. For us, that's a normal thing, and we kind of look at other countries like they're going to do that to us as well. Look at Hollywood. Look at the movies that we make. There's how many different alien invasion movies do we make? And it's all, of course, in America or something like that. America's always concerned about World War III. It's always concerned about invasion. I mean, it's constantly on our mind ever since World War II. But I have lived in China for 4.5 years, and I think I know a little bit about China. One thing that I do know is that China has never been an invading nation. They've had their own internal conflicts all throughout their 5,000 years of history, but they haven't gone out to countries abroad and created wars with them, started wars with them. It's always the West doing that with the Asian countries, right? So what I would predict, actually, and this is not prophetic prediction, this is just how I see it going down, is I think that if anything happens, it's going to be regarding Taiwan, or it's going to be about the islands around there, because China's only going to go to war if they think it's something that belongs to them, okay? These islands, they've been saying belongs to them for a long time. Taiwan, they've been saying belongs to them for a long time. So, yeah, they would go to war for those things that they believe are theirs, right? But as far as making a land invasion in America, we don't have a weak navy. I mean, it's either the top or it's one of the top. I've heard that China's getting above it, but I mean, what would they have to do? They would have to completely bomb our entire West Coast so that they could even get in, so that they could even set a foot. And then when they're in the rural communities, when we're all packed with guns all over the place, it's not going to be easy. I don't think that it would be worth it either. There would be a lot of loss, a whole lot of loss. So that's just something that I don't think would happen. He says that he believes that the Antichrist is alive and well.
And yes, I do believe the Antichrist is alive and well on planet Earth.
Common belief, I think, for lots of people, ever since Jesus died and was resurrected and gave the warning that the Antichrist was coming, the man of perdition himself, a lot of people believe that the Antichrist, the actual man himself, is alive. All the way from 2,000 years back, all the way till today, all the way into the future, because more than likely he's not alive right now. So when am I going to believe that the Antichrist is here alive and well on planet Earth? Well, that's when the temple is rebuilt in Jerusalem. He'll be able to walk inside of it and declare himself as God, and then many of the other events of Revelation can take place. But until that happens, those events can't take place. Therefore, I think anything else is just all speculation. You can only look for the first sign first. That's what I think. Christianity is an emotional religion. It starts with John the Baptist preaching. You must repent of your sins. You must feel something in your heart and say that you're wrong and turn from it, have an emotional change, be baptized, and be saved. And therefore, since that foundation of turning is emotional, I think most believers have to at least have some form of emotion within them. And I think that emotions get the best of us a lot of the times too. We all want to believe we're in the end times. Think about World War II. If you were alive during World War II, more than likely you would feel like you're in the end times. Oh, the whole world is at war. They got the Jews. They're totally disassembling them and everything. There was even a guy that wrote a book about Mussolini and how he was the Antichrist. And right before he was able to publish this book, This is according to Finis Dake. Right before that guy was able to publish the book, Mussolini died. And then he's like, oh no, what do I do? My book, I can't publish my book anymore because Mussolini is dead. I remind myself of other prophecies that people have given. In 2006, I want to say, it was the infancy of YouTube, and this prophecy was not posted on YouTube, but somebody had a dream, and they gave it an exact date of when it would literally be fulfilled, and they said that Russians were going to make a land invasion in America, and they gave the date like 2007, I think it was 2007, 2006 or something like that. And they saw helicopters flying over our buildings and Russian soldiers descending on rope ladders onto the buildings and just invading. Of course, that didn't happen. And I was waiting and watching when that one day came and passed to see what they were going to do. And then it's like a few days later, they said, hey, we're still praying about it. Like, what's to pray about? It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Harold Camping predicted that the apocalypse or Armageddon or whatever is going to happen, I think twice. And I made a video about it the second time before it happened. And his followers were all out. They were all on top of me. If you look at my past video, they're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, this was easy because he was using verses to prove his point that the apocalypse would happen like on May 10, 2011 or something like that. And so I'm able to take other verses to refute it. In a dream like this, there's no verses to refute it. I just look at it and go, I think, it's probably more likely that we would have a civil war here in America than we would have an invasion of foreign troops here in America. It would have to be a slow start. It's just crazy for me to think of how this would actually work. And so that's one of the things I wanted to say. Is when I hear the vision, I just don't think that's how it could go at all. He said that he's praying for interpretation for some of it, and yet he's also saying that it's literal. The only things that I saw that were up for interpretation was when he said that the banks were getting the money sucked out of the roofs, and vultures were flying overhead, and they turned into gargoyles. So,
I saw bank buildings with the roofs being taken off. It looked almost like alien abduction because money was just flying through the roof into some type of like a vacuum cleaner. I know it sounds kind of strange, but I was watching wealth just being taken. But the vultures that I had seen were now like gargoyles, and they were 10 feet off the ground, 10 to 15 feet off the ground. And they were just attacking people mercilessly.
My amateur interpretation of that would be the money is losing all of its value in the banks, or it's being taken away, something like that, and the vultures symbolize death, and when they turn into gargoyles, it's an extreme power of death, killing like several people as opposed to just one per bird or something like that. So anyhow, that's what I thought about it.
And once again, I'm not claiming to be a prophet. I'm not proclaiming, just let's see what happens through November and see if I'm right about this. But I know when I hear God's voice. I know what God's voice sounds like to me. I know when he speaks. And I know when I have a dream that I know is him.